Simon.
Okay. Hello again, everybody. The element of surprise of this diagram is, of course, lost because you've all got a copy of it on your tables. So that means I'm going to actually speak about something more. Let's first of all ask, put up your hands if the internet in one way or another is part of your marketing strategy. Okay, so take your hand down. You're not reviewing your Google Analytics once a month. Okay. So if you're using the internet as part of your marketing strategy, but you're not measuring it, how do you know if it's working for you? Okay, put your hands down. Another question, who can here put their hands up and say honestly that their investment in internet technology has paid off in marketing terms? In other words, it's making a profit. You're getting more back than you have spent. There's question marks here. Okay, thank you very much. That was probably not more than 10%. And let me tell you, that's a high percentage if I did that to a room of, I call you, normal people. And I think it's a big problem with the internet for people because particularly small businesses still regard it as being a website. And hopefully I will not have used the word here, but when I start writing some of these things, if the word website appears more than once, I'll put a pound in the box. Because the whole area of internet marketing is much bigger than a website. And I didn't know how to express all of this until I started working with Simon, and he showed me this 5 waves approach, and it suddenly became very apparent to me that I do particularly 2 things for my customers. I help my customers get more leads, and I help my customers convert those leads into business. As a secondary thing, I do what computers have been doing for the last 40 years, and that's help companies reduce the cost of doing business. But the internet itself is not the only way of doing that. There are plenty of other bits of IT that can do that. So let's have a look at how more leads, how you can get more leads from the internet. And right at the top, social media. Why? Let's just go into what retail does. Who here shops at Tesco's? Who has one of their club cards? Why do Tesco have club cards?
Because they know what the heck we're doing.
Absolutely. They have club cards because, unlike when I first got married, you didn't walk into every shop. The owner knew you by name. He knew what you bought. He knew what you bought last week. He asked you if you'd enjoyed it. But didn't we just hear this a minute ago? Retail going big has basically lost that connection, that direct connection with its end consumers. And particularly big companies are using these social media platforms. Which one you use depends on what sort of business you are, who your customers are. Big companies are using these social media platforms because at last they have a way to get back and engage in a direct dialogue with their customers, or their potential customers. They have a way of finding out if they're doing things wrong. The number of websites I go to where a little pop-up comes and says, would you care to take a survey? How many people take the survey? Hands up. Or do you just click on the... Good for you. Do you click on the box which says, no, go away, I'm too busy with my own life to fill your survey? But when you have a problem, I bet you aren't too busy, or a lot of people aren't too busy, to go and complain on Facebook about it. What a great place to go and listen and watch what people are saying. And what's more, what a great place to respond. One of WSI's biggest customers, in fact the biggest customer we have, is Coca-Cola. We only do one thing for Coca-Cola. We monitor all the social media channels that they are on and elsewhere, and when bad news comes out from people who want to bring Coca-Cola down, not an unusual event, we have a well-oiled machine which rolls into place, takes the content Coca-Cola gives us, splatters it around the internet to make sure that that bad message is answered and is less prominent when people go out and search it. So these things, this social media thing is just so important in the future. Again, we spent time working out what is the right social media for different sorts of business, because not every business is going to be a business that will benefit from Facebook. Not every business is going to be a business that will benefit from webinars. But somewhere in there, every business will have a profile which will put different importances on those bits of social media. And the beauty about social media is it's actually not expensive to implement. But there is one thing it is time consuming. And it can also go badly wrong if you don't have the right sort of policies and procedures in place. Areas where we can help. The other thing that we all want is to have people come to our website because they're already interested in what it is we have to provide or sell. And that relies on good quality content. But all of these areas here, which are all forms of content, can be delivered, again, through social media. But there's an awful lot of words required writing. And again, the biggest challenge that people in our industry, Ben, I think we've had this discussion, the biggest challenge is the graphic designer develops the lovely graphics, they apply them to the wonderful technology which is going to run the website. We turn to the customer and say, we're ready for your content now. Huh? I thought I was buying that from you. And this is just something that people have not, in the past, fully understood. That understanding is much stronger now, of course. But even then, it takes an awful lot of effort. If you're in a very, very competitive area, if you're in the area of insolvency practitioner, then you try and get your small website recognised on the internet, you have a major challenge. Because there are huge companies with big budgets just releasing fresh content all the time, spending big money on Google AdWords campaigns, and you've got to find a way to get around that. You've got to find a way to reach people who might be your potential customers in a cheap way. Again, social media is something that we can come back to and that might help there.